In this video, we will go through how you provide evidence that you have implemented the performance measures of the code. This evidence is then reviewed by an independent evaluator. Click on Start a new submission. This will bring you to your draft submission overview page. Note the dashboard at the top, which tracks how many measures you have answered and your overall performance score. It is currently showing that 0 of 61 measures have been answered and the performance is currently 0%. Scroll down to view all principles. To start, click Proceed under Principle 1. Note some options at the top of the screen. Back to Overview brings you back to the previous screen, the Draft Submission Overview page. You can read more about this principle by clicking here. Click Answer to open a measure to allow you to select either yes or no and to upload evidence. You also have the option to open all measures, such as here, or to close all measures. So let's go ahead. Principle 1 has 4 performance measures. To make it easier to navigate, click Open All. You will notice that measure 1.1.1 is highlighted in blue. This is to tell you that it is an essential measure for all members and is a minimum requirement of the code. To complete a code submission, you must be able to answer yes to these questions. Essential measures are highlighted in blue throughout the system. For each measure, you will see suggestions of appropriate evidence that demonstrates you have implemented the measure. There are also tips for many performance measures, as well as links to resources that might help you implement the measure. For example, in this case, the measure relates to BEN membership, and the resource available to download is the BEN membership application form. Any evidence documents that you uploaded to the system at the beginning are also listed here. For this measure and for some others, the code administrator will provide the evidence for you. In this case, the code administrator will verify to the evaluators whether a business is a fully paid up member of BEN or not. In these cases, you are not required to upload anything. However, it is essential that you enter a comment in the evidence details box here to let the system know that the evidence will be made available later. So let's enter admin will provide evidence and hit close. Moving on to the next measure, 1.1.2 is, in this case, the evidence is a fully completed code submission. As in the previous measure, you simply click yes and enter a comment in the evidence detail box to let the system know that the evidence will be made available later. You will notice an I would like to improve option on this measure and on most others. This is for a situation where you answer yes because you are implementing the measure, but you would like to do even more with this measure in the future. By selecting I would like to improve, you ensure that the measure appears as an action on your environmental action plan that is generated at the end of this process. If your answer is no, there is no need to select I would like to improve, as the measure will automatically appear on your environmental action plan at the end. Continue to answer yes and no for each measure as appropriate for your business. Admin to provide evidence, and we will answer yes here. You will also notice, as well as the evidence details box, there is also a member comments box. This is a space for you to enter any additional information that you would like the evaluator to know. Once you have answered all measures, click Save and Review. Notice that I have neglected to provide evidence for one measure that I answered yes to. The system alerts me to this. I will not be allowed to proceed from this principle until I either provide evidence or change my answer to no. So I will change this answer. A representative of my business is not an active member of any subgroup committee or project team in BEN. So I select no, save and review. I am happy with those answers, so I select save and close. Save and close brings you back to the self-assessment overview screen. Note the changes on the dashboard as you work through the code submission. The screen also verifies that you have answered all questions for a given principle. To continue, click Proceed for Principle 2. Click Open All to see all measures and scroll screen down. Some measures will require you to upload files as evidence. For example, Measure 2.1.1 requires Leave No Trace training and certificate if you have had Leave No Trace training in the last 5 years. Answer yes. Click on Upload Documents. Find the document on your computer and the document is uploaded as evidence to the system. In this case, I am directing the evaluator to a website which shows where I have clearly promoted the Leave No Trace principles on the website. The interpretive plan is also the evidence for Measure 2.2.2. So I select that here again, close and move on. I continue to complete the measures under Principle 2 and then I click Save and Review, where I have the option to change any measure. Once I'm happy, click Save and Close and I will return to the Submission Overview screen. You continue to enter answers and evidence for all performance measures. Let's look at Principle 6b in particular. Some measures on this principle will require evidence from your data consumption table. For example, consider Measure 6.5.1. If you have entered data on the energy consumption tables, you can click on the button Refer to our consumption data for evidence of this measure. This evidence button is available in all measures that relate to your consumption data tables. Once you have completed all principles, your dashboard will show your overall performance on the code. At this point, you can either finish and generate your action plan for the next 12 months, or you can try and complete some of the measures you answered no to and so get a higher score. Once you're happy that you have done everything that you can do for this year, you can click the 3 evidence boxes here just below your dashboard. So click on evidence box 1, 2 and 3. Lastly, click Submit for Evaluation here. A message box will appear with your current score. At this point, you can still click Cancel and return to your submission if you wish to do more work on it. Alternatively, you can click Proceed and generate action. A message box will appear with your current score. At this point, you can still cancel and return to your submission if you wish to do more work on it, or you can click on Proceed and generate action plan. The system will direct you to the Environmental Action Plan section. Please note you have not fully submitted your application yet. You will need to review and submit your Environmental Action Plan before you are finished. You will find a video tutorial in the next section.